Why, and hello, everybody. Welcome to Dear Dana. It is nice to see everyone here on this Saturday evening. I thought we would be talking about an unusual topic. It may have been on everyone's mind from time to time, especially if you have ever watched some supernatural shows. And you may have thought about it yourself. Hello, Renee Rod and Chase Ryder, and those in the bushes. Yes, I see you there. And hello, Rosemary. We are talking about, is telepathy real? We may have all had those instances, hello, Marie Crum, where we are thinking about someone and all of the sudden our phone rings and it's the person we're thinking about. And we're like, oh, I was just thinking about you and you called me. We must have telepathy. So, is telepathy real? What do you think? Is it real? Hmm. I would have to say, hello, Shelley Marie. I would have to say, in my opinion, I would have to think probably, yeah, on some level. Because if you think about it, we go back to that energy thing. Hello, Adam Harris. How are you? We go back to that whole energy thing, that whole resonating thing, right? That whole radio wave thing and the atom thing. Think about it. We use our cell phones, right? Who would have thought 30 years ago or more that you could pick up a cell phone that wasn't attached to something? Hello, Monica Zins, and call someone, and somewhere in the universe, or space and time, our voice would make it to them. If we were 30 years ago or so, 30, 40 years, we would think we would be watching a show on television. If we could do on our phone and just call someone, right? Pick up the phone and call someone 30, 40 years ago using this not attached to something and call someone. And through space and time, somehow our voice gets to them, right? Digital communication, radio waves, all of that energy's moving through space. And we have brain waves. So who is to say if we resonate at some level that that same energy doesn't make it to someone? What are your thoughts? Do you believe in telepathy or no? Curious minds want to know. Do you believe in telepathy or no? Let me know in the chat. And those that are, watching the replay gang, you can let me know in the comments while I play the intro before I forget. And again, welcome to Dear Dana. And here we go. Ah, I did it. We're back. So, you believe in telepathy, Renee Ron? And Marie Crum, she said, I believe it happens to me all of the time. Shelley Marie said, I think I do. Rosemary said, yes, thank you, and I hope you've been doing well also. Oh, I think that was a reply to somebody else. I think most people believe in it. And as scientific people in some ways, and in the scientific community, we are always learning so much. And I think that Chase Ryder says Ooh, wait, let's see what he says. I used to think I had powers and abilities until life beat it out of me. Yeah, that tends to happen, doesn't it? We get so busy trying to keep up and um, work and get busy, and stress takes over. That happens. But we get so invested and focused on, he's right, things around us and just trying to keep up with life and pay our bills and all of that stuff. Adam Harris says he believes that it gets stressful at times, and we can become so immersed in the day to day that if we do have abilities, maybe it gets put on the back burner because, um, like I said, with science and everything, we have to mesh science sometimes with spiritual and emotional, etc. Think about it like this: as far as science has come, we still do not know everything about the brain. We still do not know everything about the brain. We still do not know everything about the universe or the multiverses. We don't. In our human experience, it's limited. We are still always learning. And the more we open up and tap into the core of ourselves, our emotional side, and not let the brain overthink sometimes, the more we're able to connect with what's out there. Excuse me if I'm wheezing a little bit, a lot of the scientists and people, hey, Arseny Pesikov, doctors that learn things and scientists that learn things, get this information when they sort of let go. Maybe it's a download, maybe they get it in a dream, maybe it's happenstance, maybe they get it through telepathy from someone, maybe it's divine intervention. Have you ever studied and studied and studied, or done a project for so long, or been at something so hard that you just hit a wall? You hit a wall. You're so focused and you're so at it that you're just, oh. But sometimes when you release and let go, you find it. You find it. It's in that release. It's in that release. Because sometimes we try to control things so hard and so much that that's when we get blocked. That's when we're at the standstill because we want to control everything. I've been there. We want to control everything. And that is sometimes our Achilles heel, I believe. Sometimes that's our Achilles heel. It's in that leap of faith, it's in that release, it's in that letting go sometimes that we get our answers, right? It's in that letting go sometimes. And I know I beat it into you sometimes, but there's so much to be said in that conscious breathing that leads to that meditation. That's why you hear so many spiritual people say, do the conscious breathing. Hold it. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Do it with me one more time. Inhale slowly through your nose. Exhale slowly. Let's do it one more time. Inhale slowly to the count of 4 through your nose. Hold it. Exhale slowly through your mouth to 4. Good. And even when I was talking, I was holding my breath. It takes practice. And just in that small amount of time we did that, you can feel a release in your body. When you're trying telepathy with someone, if you consciously try, and there are ways, and I'll go through it with you in a little bit, you have to hey, Gourmet Thursday, thank you for being here. You have to let go of the thought. You have to let go of the idea of controlling it. You do. It's more in the emotion and the envisioning it. Let's say you want to send a telepathic message to someone. First and foremost, stay away from it being negative because it vibrates low, right? We're back to it being vibration and resonating. If it vibrates low, it will be slow and it will not be your friend. So try to make it a positive message, something that can resonate higher because it will have power behind it. So hopefully it will be a message of love or that's connected to someone you care about or has love behind it or a positive message behind it. So let's say you want to send, Arsene says, me and my wife are always reading each other's thoughts unintentionally. And that has a lot to do with both of you are vibrating, are resonating at the same level. And you've been together and you're very connected. And that's what's happening. You're resonating at the same level. So you become very telepathic. And you're not even trying. So it's very unintentional. And it happens and you love each other. My daughter and I do it often. If my mom and I are in a good place, we can do it. And sometimes my husband and I do it. But my daughter and I can do it pretty often. But think of it like this, right? Let's say I'm radio and I'm at 98.5.7, right? Me. And my daughter is a radio and she's at 98.5.1. And let's say this is something, okay? One day I wanted her to pick up ice cream. I wanted her to pick up ice cream. Simple message. So I was visualizing ice cream. I knew she was going to go to the grocery store. Didn't tell her to get it. She was going to get something else. And at that time, it wasn't something I would often tell her to get or anything. And I visualized ice cream and I visualized my love for her. And I visualized the ice cream. I visualized my love for her. And I just closed the gap. I closed the loop. I visualized my love for her and I visualized the vanilla ice cream in her hand. Okay? I visualized my love for her. I visualized the ice cream in her hand. And we resonated at the same level all the time. So when she came home, guess what she had? She had the exact ice cream, not just any vanilla. It was a certain vanilla I wanted. She brought home the certain vanilla I wanted. You sort of have to close the loop. You have to close your eyes and you have to close the loop. Do you know what I mean when I say close the loop? RC said, sent you a photo of Dante and he reads both of us all the time. When did you send the photo, RC? I'll have to go check it out. Did you send it to my Gmail? I'll have to go check it out. But what I'm saying is, you have to close the loop. It's not like you force a message to somebody, but that creates resistance. You have to close your eyes, and it has to have emotion, like a loving emotion attached to it. And then you have to visualize the picture of them. And the message has to have a loving emotion. And the message has to be simple. Okay, I'll look for it. The message has to be simple. So you close the loop. Who knows what that means? Or am I confusing you? When I say you have to close the loop. Because it's very energetic. If you say, I want Brad Pitt to text me, just using his name as an example. Text me, Brad Pitt. Text me, Brad Pitt. Text me, Brad Pitt. That's sort of a forceful message. And or let's just take the Pitt off. Text me, Brad. Text me, Brad. Like it's any Brad. There's anxiety and expectation to that message, and it turns it intellectual. It turns it intellectual. There may be some emotion attached to it, but it's not the right emotion that turns it into frequency. And then it turns it into anxiety and it lowers the frequency. And it needs more vision attached to it. Take the intellectual out of it. Less brain, more emotion, and more visual. Anybody understand what I'm saying? The chat got quiet. The chat got quiet. Hello, Virginia Woolf. Who is afraid of Virginia Woolf? This is interesting. Thank you for sharing. I'm trying to understand this because I think that I have this sometimes, but it is not something I have ever talked about. You are most welcome. When people, it is kind of an interesting topic because people think about it, and it's sort of a sci-fi subject. We think about it more like sci-fi movies, right? Telepathy. But when you break it down more like in a scientific way, so to speak, like the energy that runs across telephone poles, the energy that runs across electrical lines to light up a light, right? The energy that comes from brain waves that has to move through the air all the time from us outside of our body, it's not much different than energy that moves out of cell phones across the air. We emit energy. And when we're around people, think of it like this, in close proximity to people. When when you're not married, for instance, if you're in the room with somebody and you're really attracted to them, you put off these vibes. You put off these vibes. And typically you can feel vibes from another person when they're very attracted to you, right? Can't you? When you're around somebody that's attracted to you, can't you feel that connection, those vibes? Like Renee, so do you have to have a love connection in order to be telepathic with another person? You don't have to have a love connection like, oh, we love each other or they're your kid or anything. It's just a general feeling of love and well being. If you hate them, if you just hate them, chances are it's not going to work. So you have to shift that. Let's put it this way. If there's someone in this world that you have ill will with, and let's say that you think of them in a certain way. Oh, I can't stand them. I hate them. I this and that. All those negative words, right? That you attach to that person. Words have energy. They do. And I had to process this a while back. Words have energy. So if you feel a certain way, um, those words may attach themselves to that person unintentionally, and it may build that aspect of their spirit or soul in some way. And as a spiritual person, do you really want that? If that's how the person already is, do you want to increase that? Spiritually, is that what you really want? No, you don't really want that person to become more of how you're feeling about them. Not spiritually, not if you're really a spiritual person. So I decided I was going to be aware of when I was feeling certain ways, even if I was mistreated by a certain person in the world. I was going to be self aware about how I was feeling, putting that kind of energy out there, and I was going to reverse it and put positive words toward them in a genuine way. Positive words that I could genuinely put out there toward them. What are you saying no way for, Renee Rod? How so, no way? If you can find something positive to put out there, how so can I mean this? Just meaning that I don't want to put negative energy out there on people. I can cut cords with negative energy and be in my peace. We're human. We're going to slip up and get mad, lose our temper and stuff like that. But we have to regroup and not be in that space if we're walking a spiritual path, because we want to be able to shift in what they call the fourth or fifth dimension. Like if you want to do telepathy, You can't be in a very heavy negative space and be able to connect in a telepathic way. You can't. You don't want to send out negative telepathic messages because how are you going to close that loop? If you send out a negative, let me give an example. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to send out a negative, uh, sorry, telepathic message. This is you, and you want to send out a negative telepathic message to somebody, right? It's negative, it's dark. And this is the other person. And you're trying to send that negative message to them. You have to close that loop with a visual and an emotion. But guess what? You are in that loop with them. You are in that loop with them. Do you want to be in that negative loop with them? No way, Jose. You do not want to be in a negative loop with somebody. No. So you have to self assess and become self aware and sort of do do some work. Do some work on yourself. So that's what I mean. You don't have to be in love with the person. So be in love with you. Self love. And if you have love for your own soul, your spirit, and you're sending a message to another person that you care about as a human being, that you need to connect with, you care about them as a human being. See what I'm saying? Then you can connect. Exactly, Sheila Swan. 100%. 100%. I like to think about it as just loving yourself and everything is overflow out. Exactly. 100%. I agree with you. I agree with you. That's exactly what I mean. Um, I don't want to wish anyone bad with my words or thoughts in a way. Makes sense. I change my energy. Focus like and let go of the negative energy. Yes. It's like, for instance, I had a conversation with my mom earlier. It started off calm. She, of course, she's got a broken knee. She's had tension with somebody else in the family. There was something I was calmly talking to her about. Had nothing to do with her. She got irate right out of the gate, came after me, upset me, and I was letting it get to me. More and more and more than I should, which is not my normal. And then it was not good because she has her way of getting to you. And I let myself get angry, which is not me, and felt bad after. I felt bad after because I got angry because it's not me. And my husband was like, "You're only human," and blah blah blah. But it's not me to have a temper, and I lost my temper a little bit, which is not me. So after I got off the phone, I was beating myself up, and that's what I mean about I always have to step back, self assess, do my work daily, daily, daily. And my husband said, you hold yourself up to such high standards all the time. And you have to give yourself an opportunity to be human. And I know he's right, but it makes me feel awful. Who did you get angry with? My mom, which makes you feel worse. I got angry with my mom. I found my dad after 51 years. I thought he was dead. Wow, Monica, when did you find him? That's amazing. That is amazing. That had to be shocking. So I'm assuming you got to meet him in person. Steve said, my mom does that. I normally sing Fine Young Cannibals. She drives me crazy. I should have done that. And I usually can be really calm. This time I wasn't. I let it get to me because I'd hit my limit. And I was ashamed of myself. Now, I'm not like a screamer or a go nuts kind of person. I don't get that kind of mad. My kind of mad is probably calm in comparison with most people. But still, you have not met. Is there any plans to meet him in person? Hello, Mark Kropka. How are you? But um, but it is highly possible. They say to do telepathy. Telepathy. I mean, we do it on accent all the time. We know it's possible, and with moms, you never get mad either. But see, when I did tonight, the minute I told my mom I loved her and I had to get off the phone because she's like a rabid dog. She'll keep on. She'll keep on and on and on. She won't let go. And she'll just twist things. She'll keep twisting like the wind. I just had to get off. I didn't want to keep continuing that. Not with my mom. Had to get off. My dad said she'd fight with a signpost. It's true. She would fight with a signpost if she was in the mood. And bless her, her knee's still cracked. But let me tell you, she's supposed to rest. She has a broken kneecap. It's not broken all the way through. She wants me to take her to the grocery store. Now, this isn't a little old lady. Don't don't get it twisted. She'll be 79 in February. This isn't your normal 79-year-old. This isn't a little old lady. She is supposed to rest this knee. She wants me to take her grocery shopping. I just took her Monday for her to walk around the grocery store on that knee shopping. That is not in a cast that she is supposed to be resting on. I said, Mom, let me do your grocery shopping for you. No, I want to do it myself. Mom, why don't you let me order them and let them drop at your door? No, I don't want anyone touching my groceries. She has a broken kneecap. Please tell me how much sense this makes. Please tell me. I don't understand. I don't understand. If you had a broken kneecap and it was hurting you every day, would you be walking around all over Hell's Half Acre? I don't get it. If she bumps it at all, it will break all the way through. They will have to do surgery and put it in a cast. I do not understand. If that makes any sense to anybody else, I would like to know. I don't know. I don't know. He has made no effort. That has been hard for me. How did you end up finding him, Monica? I can imagine that has been very, very hard for you. She must have her sun or moon in Taurus. I don't know. She's a Pisces, Arseny. I do not know anything about astrology. I wish I could tell you. I mean, I know when someone is a certain sign if I know them and they tell me. That's about it. I do not know. I did not learn astrology. I just didn't. Trying to see if I have a accessible picture of my mother. But yeah, the stubbornest woman I know. She can be sweet as an angel and mean as the devil. But anyway, I can't tell her anything. But I want to tell you guys, I took some notes about it. Insofar as telepathy, it's about being connected to your non physical self in the non physical dimension. Yeah, I understand, Gourmet. Yes, she is very stubborn. You need to be able to be in the Shiva, as the gurus would say, be in the non physical dimension and get out of your head, get out of the thinking part of yourself. And that's what makes it so hard for people that have a hard time sitting still, have a hard time meditating, to quit thinking, quit overthinking, and let go. It still goes back to us not wanting to control things. Not wanting to control things. Shelley says, most likely her moon, since she's a Pisces. I don't know all the moon sign stuff. We have glorified our thoughts. We have glorified science so much that we don't give our emotions and the release the opportunity to educate us through the non physical plane, through the non physical dimension. Meaning, there's a whole universe out there, possibly more multiverses, with so much energy going on that when we release, when we get into a meditative state, when we allow the non physical dimension to move through us in an energetic way, in a way that resonates, that's when we discover more things. That's when spiritually we discover more opportunities to know if we have other gifts, like being able to tap into telepathy. I would be willing to bet you everyone in here and everyone in the bushes at some time or another has experienced telepathy. I would be willing to bet you. Be willing to bet you. Moon is your emotional side. Steve says, I'm a Sagittarius, hyperactive garden gnome. That's all you need to know. My little brother is Sagittarian. That's probably why you and I get along, Sheila Swan. Renee, just want you to know that you are awesome. Yes, she is. But Arseny says, let's pull it up. No, you need to read her chart. I'm a Taurus, but my sun sign is Leo. So that's how I come across, and my moon is Libra. So I have a hard time with balance. Hmm. I think I am a split sign for some reason. I think I must be two signs because of the near death thing. Because I've had too many people tell me that I don't come across as my sign. Our knowledge is so limited, and people have such a hard time being still and going within. And the fact we have got so many gadgets and they keep coming toward us. You are more than two at Dear Dana? Oh, silly Marie. We have so many gadgets being thrown toward us that are preoccupying our mind and making all of us ADHD that there's a whole chunk of our spiritual core selves that is being thrown in the air. And people are struggling because there's so many gifts that are not being discovered. So you have people like us coming together going, oh, I do have this gift. I didn't know what to call it. I didn't know it was okay to use it. I've had it all along. This is what's going on. I've had it since I was little. I didn't know other people had it. Oh, I don't feel alone. And you're going to find more and more people admitting it. And little kids are naturally going to have it. And it's going to become more and more obvious as time goes on. There's a big shift going on, people. There's a big, big shift, and there's a thinness between the veils, and the energy's expanding. And people are trying to explore themselves more. Hello, Paranormal Witch. How are you feeling? We have missed you. Are you feeling better with all the rest? Hopefully, you are healing very well now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully, you're feeling well. But here are some tools you can use to start practicing telepathy. And I'm going to use my glasses because I need to read. So, if you have paper and pen nearby, you might want to take some notes. You might want to take some notes. Of course, I have to use my handy dandy glasses. Healing slowly. That should be speeding up with the way they did your surgery. That should be speeding up, Paranormal Witch. So we will send you some healing. So you should be able to be getting around a lot better soon. I'm glad that you had it done and that you're feeling better. So if you are ready to take some notes, if you're interested, here's what you need to do. If you want to do and work on practicing your hey Willow. If you want to work on practicing doing this kind of I just got a brain glitch. Dana, Dana, Dana. If you want to practice doing this kind of thing, where you send messages between each other. Thank you, MS. I can't think of the word, and it's my own show. Ding dong, Dana. Telepathy. If you want to practice telepathy. So if you're ready and you want to take notes, I'm giving you a chance. See what MS does? It makes you forget words. So, silence your mind. I know that's easier said than done. Silence your mind Hey, Moonchild. So happy to see you. Silence your mind is one of the first things. So I would say, go, hey, Blobby. Happy to see you. If you want to try to practice telepathy, silence your mind. Go in a quiet place where there's not noise. Try to silence your mind. So it's like be out of your mind where you're not thinking about business, where you're not trying to be scientific, where you're not trying to force the idea. Breathe slowly. Do your conscious breathing. Remember, inhale to the count of 4 through your nose. Hold it to the count of 4. Slowly breathe out to the count of 4. I would repeat it. Close your eyes when you are doing it. Close your eyes because the key to sending a telepathic message is visualization and emotion. Visualization and emotion, not thought. Not thought as in, I'm going to think this message to someone. Not in that way. Sort of visualize a bubble of light or portal, if you will, but a bubble of light or a portal of light. Hey, Wop. And you want to focus on that person that you want to send the message to and a person that you care about. That emotion is attached to. It could be somebody you love, a friend that you really care about. It needs to be positive emotion. I mean, again, think of it as a radio station where you're turning that resonance up, where you're turning that energy up. Because we're all talking about energy. Again, I liken it to the cell phone. If you're making a phone call on a cell phone, energy's got to go to that phone. I mean, how do you think they track a cell phone, right? Pings. They can track it with pings. So if you're going to try to send a message to someone, you have to have some kind of ping to them, an emotional ping. Visualize the light. Put that person in that light. So you visualize that person in that light, in that bubble of light. And you have some kind of emotion, positive emotion, because it has to have you sending an energy level up. It has to resonate higher like a radio station, right? Feel the way they are feeling. So if you're sending a certain message to that person and you know that person, you have an idea of their personality, how they might be feeling, right? How they feel when they're around you. So you sort of get an idea of how they might feel. If you're connected to them in any way, you can get an idea of how that person feels. So you can kind of sense when you're visualizing the person in that bubble of light and you see them in the bubble of light, you can kind of connect on a heart or soul level how they're feeling. So you connect in that way. You focus on them, you feel how they're feeling, and you focus on the message that you want to transmit. And if it's about an action, then you visualize that action. If it's about a feeling, you visualize that feeling. And then you put yourself in that bubble. You put yourself in that bubble with him, right? So you're closing the loop. You're closing the loop. You visualize them, how they might be feeling, how you're feeling. You visualize the message you're trying to get across. And if you can visualize it in picture form, that is the best. But if it is a message, you make it clear and concise. If you can visualize it in picture form or feeling, that is the best. but you do it clear and concise. And you visualize yourself in that bubble with them, that bubble of light. You close the loop. And you can repeat over and over what you see. And you feel it at the same time. It's about vision and emotion and energy, right? And what should happen is you should have a connection with them and know that it has occurred within 48 hours. You should within 48 hours. It takes practice. But as you see, it's more about visualization, feeling, and closing the loop. Most of the time, we completely do it on accident, right? We completely do it on accident. But you never want to connect it to pushing or feeling desperate or resistant or negativity or anything like that. It's counterproductive. Very counterproductive. You never want anything in that loop that you don't want, whether it be feeling or visual or any of that. When you think of it that way, it makes a lot more sense, right? Anybody? Anybody have a question or a comment, or have I just gone like this? I try to make it understandable. Shelly says, "Be right back. Clock out of work." Nice. How many kids does he have? Gourmet Thirsty says, "Yep." Okay. I'm out of the loop. I'm completely out of the loop in the chat. But I'm trying to ask in such a way that hopefully I'm giving you content in such a way that I'm scientifically making it more palatable. That's what I'm hoping. Or I'm spiritually making it more palatable where it makes sense to people and you can try it in a way that is not so, how do you put it? So wordy or so out there or whatever that you can't connect with it. That's what I want. So anybody got a question, a comment, want to come up? Anything. I'm trying to make it interesting and in a way that it makes sense to you. Or have I bored everyone? I just don't know. And while I'm here, please like, subscribe, especially subscribe. If you're in the bushes, we are growing here and on the road to 1,000. And I'm always open for any subject matter that you would like to address. Paranormal said, I just have to concentrate on the person with telepathy. No, that's why I went into a step by step of what you need to do and said, if you can write it down. Gourmet said, I guess I just don't feel like there is anyone alive that I want to communicate with telepathically. I gotcha. I understand. If I want to talk to them, I call them. Understandable. But, just the concept of telepathic thinking. But I do like to practice visualization techniques when I'm struggling with a situation. Right. I guess that with telepathy, like with your kid, right? Let's say you couldn't get in touch with them or you were in an emergency. I think that sometimes that people that are connected with the heart like to use telepathy. Oh, Moonchild, do you have a pounding headache? I am so sorry. Would you like to come up for some healing? Or I can just try to send you healing now? you want to come up as an avatar to try to get some healing. I can't promise it will work, but it may take your headache away. I don't know if Shoeless One is still here or Shelly, but we all do healing work. Oh, thank you, Gourmet. It may take your headache away. If you don't want to come up as an avatar, Moonchild, just put your hands up toward the screen. Shoeless One, are you still here? That's okay, you don't want to come up. Trying to send you healing anyway. But anyway, I did not want this to be an uninteresting topic. I was hoping it was interesting to some of you. But if you think about it, if you take the idea of telepathy and you move it to distant healing, right? There's similar energies to it in that you can do distant healing from a distance because of the emotional aspect and the visual aspect and the resonating higher, right? And the visualizing the person with the issues that bother them. And think about the aspect of remote viewing. Very much the same way, right? Whoever needs healing tonight, I'm sending out energy through the screen. If you want to put your hands up toward the screen, but I can still feel energy in my hands as I talk. But anyway, if you think about the different aspects spiritually, they work with a lot of the same components. They work with emotions. They work with visual, the feelings that you have toward people, right? Visualizing them, resonating higher, sending the energy toward them. Can you communicate telepathically with the deceased? I know when I had the NDE and I was on the other side, everybody communicates telepathically. And when I connect to the other side, it is a telepathic communication because they communicate with me telepathically when they want to talk to somebody. That's absolutely how they do it. They speak inside of my mind. I hear them in their voice, though. I don't hear them in my voice. The way they talk and their tone of voice is how I hear them. And I usually see them how they were. Since Noah passed away, sometimes I see them outside of myself in 3D. Moonchild, hopefully, I pray that you get some relief. A lot of times I'll have people come up, but I hope that you get some relief. Because I could feel energy leaving my hands. I hope you get some relief. And whoever else was up here that needed it, I hope that you get some relief. But yeah, that's how they speak to me when they come on the other side. I have to tell you something funny. I had not heard Noah's toys go off since Thanksgiving. Yesterday I was feeling a little blue, I'm not going to lie, for a few reasons. You're welcome. I do pray that you get some relief. And if it does diminish, please let me know. Um, I was feeling a little blue for a few reasons, one of which I had not heard. You know, a lot of times we'll hear Noah's toys go off on special occasions. We know that's a sign from him. I'm going to try to have some of the parents from the grief group Helping Parents Heal Online come on here because it's a huge international group. Remind me to tell you about that too, Renee. Yes, you have. It's a huge international group, and when I went on a few, when I came on that, it's amazing because you will find no one wants to be in that group, of course, because we've lost kids. We have lost kids. Every loss is a difficult loss. And grief, in some ways, is a beautiful way that we express our love to those we lost. But that being said, kids is just inexplicable when you lose your child. But anyway, Noah often makes his toys go off on holidays. I've told you that. But Thanksgiving, I had not heard his toy go off since Thanksgiving. I was feeling a little blue yesterday. I was talking to him out loud. So last night, one of his toys, I've been trying to catch it on video. Every time I pull the camera out to record, it stops. It's like he doesn't want me to get it to play it. But anyway, it's been going off a lot yesterday. And it was trying to say something, or he was, like something for us to do, and I couldn't catch the last word to understand. And it was going off a lot last night. And Stephen heard it too, but I was like, I couldn't catch the last. It wasn't something the toy was programmed to say. Finally stopped. I was up late last night, 2:30 in the morning. Our Keurig, which we got like a month ago, it has the one that does the pods and the one that does the coffee pot. We just do the pods. 2:30 in the morning, the thing starts trying to make a pot of coffee. I kid you not. And my dogs are like acting up, and I'm like, what is that noise? And so I'm like, Eden, are you up? Are you in the kitchen? And it keeps going, and I go in the kitchen, and it's making a pot of coffee with no coffee grounds in there. So hot water's going in the coffee pot part, which that part we never use, and it's a two-part process. So it's making a pot of hot water, basically. And I'm like, holy crap. So I thought, no, why are you doing this? And wake up this morning and the whole thing doesn't work. But it's doing it by itself. So I took that as Noah, trying to make a pot of coffee for me. But yeah, the parents that have lost kids get these unusual signs, in your face signs, all the time. All the time. That are unbelievable. That all the family members get to witness. That are undeniable. But going back to telepathy, that was another example, Renee Ron. I 100% agree with you, because that is another way that it is effective. Because if you focus your thought, if you close that loop with your animal, if you visualize your animal and that feeling that you have and something that you want them to do, you 100% can connect with your animal in that way. You can, you can, you can. I do it with my animals. Now, Sometimes my bulldog will do it. Sometimes he's stubborn as I don't know what. But you can connect with your animals telepathically, and they like it. They like it because you're able to communicate with them in that way. They like it. Practice, they like it. I promise you, they like it. They are intelligent and they like that you can communicate with them on the level of pictures. When you close that gap and you send them a message that is more like an image, your pets love it. They love it. And they end up being more obedient. Isn't that true, Renee? Yes, it is. No one, Renee. So you are so right, Renee, about the animals. So that is one effective way that the tool of telepathy is a great, great tool. Yes, Arseny. So if nothing else, you use it for that, that is a bonus. Thank you for bringing that up, Renee. I had it written down and I forgot to flip the page and bring it up. Perfect. Monday is the anniversary of my husband's death. I have been feeling him all around me today. I am so sorry, Moon, but I guarantee you, yes. If you're feeling him, he is there. How long has it been? Not that many years, right? I am so very sorry. I'm so very sorry, Moon. How are you doing, Moonchild? And is anybody in here connected to a Michael in the family that passed away? Oh, 14 years. I'm so very sorry. What happens if you try to connect with an ex telepathically? It depends on if you're angry or you are on good terms, Gourmet. So Michael belongs to you, Moonchild? Because I was. Okay, then yeah, he is way around you. That's the confirmation then. So he is here. Thank you for that confirmation for me. Because I can feel him strong. You're so right, he's around. He will be around for a while, actually. Why is he why is he laughing about who's the romantic? He's bringing up about he's smiling about who's the romantic. I don't think it's a joke. I mean, he's smiling about it. Who's the romantic now? Michael. Thank you, Michael, for giving me your name. I'm glad when they give me that kind of confirmation. Maybe your headache will start to ease up now, Moonchild. Renee, I believe some ways you're an animal intuitive, actually. Michael has watched over you for a really long time, Moonchild. I mean, he went to heaven, he went to the other side, but his energy stayed connected to you as well. It, put it this way, when we're in heaven, we can still connect to this side. But he chose not to. Okay, Michael is his brother, who is also gone. But it's his birthday today. Okay, so that's my. Okay, we are all very close. So happy birthday to Michael. Okay, I was confused. Somebody's bringing up a Jonathan. A Jonathan or a John. Happy birthday, Michael. Then Michael. Why is Michael bringing up who's the romantic? And laughing. Like he's goading someone. Well, then I'm still talking about Michael because he had he watches. He's still watching over you though, but he had the opportunity to reincarnate, but never did. Michael wasn't good about his health. Has somebody got a John or a Jonathan in here? Maybe trying to piggyback? David was your husband. There's still a Jonathan. John or Jonathan connected someone. And then someone with that went quickly with cardiac. I'm so sorry, Moonchild. So they had another brother? How come I'm getting the brothers and not David? I mean, I do see a guy with a kind of caramel colored brown hair, mustache, thinning on top. I mean, he's got a sweet face. I don't know who that is, but he's not telling me his name. So we've got, so I got Michael and John, but I didn't get David. I got the heart attack. So why am I not getting David? Why did I not get David? Odd. Did they both die before David did? Or after? Weird, weird. John, Michael. Okay. I have John Michael, older brother named Michael. But your brothers are still here, Renee, right? They died of a heart attack. Hmm. The people I got passed away. Just weird. But surrounding you in love, Moonchild. I mean, you are, they may not be here physically with you, but I know that your husband, David, is connected with you. And his brothers are showing up. David passed away first. Michael killed a motorcycle. John, heart attack. All in 5 years' time. So there, so David was first. And then so they would be in front of him because they were last. David's the protector. David is around. Don't deny that. David is around. Hmm. Michael didn't reincarnate. Hmm. I'm wondering. And you've got a sibling, Moonchild, right? You've got a sister. Died of cancer. Um. Let me ask you, Moonchild. You've got a sister. Do you have a sister that has grown kids? Does she have grown kids? I okay. Yeah, I think David has reincarnated. I'm not gonna lie. That's why you feel me hee hawing. Michael didn't reincarnate. John didn't reincarnate. Yeah, I feel David reincarnated. And potentially on your sister's side of the family. I mean, he's not distanced from you. I mean, he is, but yeah. I have to agree. I have to agree. I have to agree. For me to get both his brothers and Michael was around you and kidding about who's the romantic now, why is that a joke? And I couldn't figure out why is that a joke. And then I get his other brother with a heart attack and David died first. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Who do you feel like you're dealing with, Gourmet? And it's not so bad when they choose that. It's sort of a choice. Um, Sometimes we get to come to help people with lessons. Sometimes. You feel like your cousin is reincarnated from someone else, or she became. Okay, I'm confusing myself. You feel like your cousin is a reincarnation of someone else, or your cousin passed and became someone else? Moonchild, how's your headache right now? Ah, there you go. So that's why he's going, who's a romantic now? Because David reincarnated and it was like a competition. That's why he's making that joke with me to tell you. Good. Are you serious? It's gone? Good. If you're feeling it, it's very possible. Very possible. But I'd leave it alone. I'd probably leave it alone. Joking. Not joking, but joking. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I can understand that. When we learn about these things and when we feel these things like gourmet, like what you're learning now, sometimes it's instead of thinking of it as creepy, it's confirmation. It's confirmation there's more. You know what I mean? There's just more. And it opens us up spiritually. It does. It opens us up spiritually. Wow. So many coincidences tonight. Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like someone in here has been struggling with a lot of indecision and anxiety and feeling like things were torn in directions, but it's coming to a calmness now. It's coming to a calmness where you're going to feel a sense of peace, and the decision will just like you're going to wake up and it just feels like it's made. You'll feel a sense of peace and tranquility, and I feel like it will just come this week, and you'll feel like, yep, I know what I'm going to do, and it's all okay, and I just feel at peace with it, and you won't stress about it anymore. You'll just have that sense of clarity. We travel in soul groups, right? So Thursday, maybe it could be what? We travel in soul groups, right? So Thursday, maybe it could be. Am I right, Dana? So Thursday, maybe it could be? I don't understand this. So Thursday, maybe it could be. Oh, you mean Gourmet Thursday? Yeah, we do travel. We do tend to travel in soul groups. Yes, we do. And change dynamics with each other. Yeah. Like maybe my mother was my kid in a past life, or um, my boss, or, you never know. The dynamics change because there's things we have to learn. Or maybe, the person that killed you last time, and you have to forgive them this time. You just don't know. You just don't know. It's like you have to learn these lessons, right? Learn to better yourself, learn to forgive, learn to resonate higher, learn to not judge, it's just a vast array of things. A vast array of things. Learn to figure out what love is, how to be more accepting of yourself, how to love yourself, show people what you want in your life, um, let them give you examples of what it feels like to be cared about. Sometimes it's that, right? Gourmet Thursday says, we talked again for 7 hours. But it's a soul thing. I feel he needs love and healing in his life, but I can't do anything but just be there. Sometimes people just need you to hold space. Sometimes they just need you to hold space for them. You know what I mean? Sometimes we can't necessarily fix it. They just need to be seen, to be heard, to know that they matter, to help them process, to know that someone gives them unconditional positive regard. Sometimes that's enough. So, anyway, I think I'm going to start to wrap up for this evening. I hope that I have helped bring some clarity, some understanding on this topic. We got a couple of little readings in, or connections from the other side, so to speak. I don't know so much that they were readings, but Moonchild, you do know that you're loved and they're there. I do believe that your husband did reincarnate, but his brothers are definitely surrounding you with love and have never left you and are watching over you. And Michael's like, who's a romantic now? So David's energy can still surround you, even if he reincarnated, which is weird, but he can. And I'm glad that your headache is gone. I'm so glad that it's gone. And anybody else that needed healing, I hope that you got the healing you received. If you are on the playback gang and you are in some kind of pain, a lot of times the energy from the playback still works. So take advantage of it. Please like and subscribe. We talk about all kinds of topics. If there is something you'd like to hear that is spiritual, psychological, something going on in the world today, just let me know and we will explore it. If you'd like to buy me a Starbucks coffee, you can donate to this channel at miracles3 at charter.net, which is PayPal address. And again, thank you so much for being here. I love all of you dearly for coming here and listening to me ramble and taking in all of this information. Like I said, I try to break it down in a palatable way. And I just genuinely appreciate you all very, very much. Yeah, let's talk about reincarnation. Maybe that will be Wednesday's topic. That's a good one. Let me write it down because I got squirrel brain. Reincarnation. And if you watchers are interested in that, yeah, that's a good one. Let me know in the comments. Again, I love you all so very, very much. Thank you all for coming here on a Saturday night. Just remember, your vibe attracts your tribe. And science and spirituality and psychology, they're all kind of linked, people. Check out some cool books on some of these things. You will be amazed what you read. Sometimes it's better than the movies. Everyone have a beautiful night. Thank you, everyone in the chat. I don't know what I'd do without you. And thank you, mods, Paranormal Witch, Shelly, Shoeless One. You are so great. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you for coming to Dear Dana. And that is it. Let me find my way out. Here we go.